Hey,
Okay.
what's up? How you doing, Zandy? This is Patrick here with the Artispreneur podcast. I have Zandy Holub with me on the line.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be on the podcast.
Sure, of course. So Zandy, she is a superstar country singer. You're gonna see her very shortly on the Billboard TV Awards and all those performances and yeah, you're gonna love her. She's got great music. Yeah, for sure. So Zandy, tell me a little bit about yourself. What type of music you listen to? What type of music you perform? How how you got into the business of music in the first place?
Well, there's a lot of ground to cover there, but I sing country meets kind of like a rock metal thing. So I tell people it's like Dolly meets Ozzy. It's very metal-driven musically. It has a lot of wailing guitars, craziness, dramatic sounds, but then it also has the story, lyrical content of country music. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. The kind of artists that I listen to are I love a mix of kind of rock, metal, and country music. I'm a Black Sabbath fan, Metallica, Led Zeppelin, Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire. I also love Heart, and I love Jason Aldean. I have a pretty eclectic taste.
Yeah. That's very cool. So how old were you when you first started making music?
I wrote my first song when I was 12 years old. So it's definitely been a long time that I've been writing. I'm 20 now. So yeah, it was kind of a crazy process. I started taking singing lessons when I was very young because I was a little bit shy as a child. And my parents had me in singing lessons and plays and doing all that kind of stuff to kind of get me out of my shell and have fun, because I was having fun doing it, even though I was just hiding while I was doing it. But I would take the singing lessons, and I started to realize that I didn't really want to sing the Broadway music that they had me sing. I wanted to sing something more modern because I was attracted to what I was hearing on the radio, obviously. So I kept kind of learning about that, and I had a pop singing teacher, and she said, "Hey, have you considered writing songs ever?" And I said, "No, not really." And she said to 12-year-old Zandy, "Why don't you try to write a song and come back next week?" And after I did that, I was completely and utterly hooked on songwriting. To me, it's a lifestyle being a songwriter. My entire life revolves around songwriting. And gosh, I don't think I could really live a day without thinking about writing a song. Every step I take is usually an emotional step because I'm just an emotional person, hence the reason I'm an artist. But every single minute of every day, I'm inspired and I have ideas for songs. And yeah, being my friend is probably a little bit overwhelming because I probably am thinking about writing a song about you.
Fair enough. Watch out, everybody in Zandy's circle. So what's the songwriting process like?
Oh my gosh, it's different every time. I don't have a standard thing where I'm like, okay, we're going to sit down and drink a shot of Jack Daniels, and then we're going to take out our guitars. No, it's kind of like...
the Jack couldn't hurt, right?
Oh, it would never hurt. But I'm 20, so of course that could be a problem.
Oh, true, very true. Yeah, no drink until you're 21.
Exactly, got to wait a little longer. But, it depends. Like, what I usually like to do when I write almost every time, like if I'm going into a writing session, I'll usually have an idea that I bring to the writer because I really like bringing the ideas because I am an artist and I want to sing about what's going on in my life. So I think it's beneficial for me to bring the idea. So I always bring the idea, and then I will have kind of a little roadmap about the idea. So let's say my idea was, I guess I'll just give an example of a song that I wrote. I had an idea called Dirty Little Secret, and so I brought it to my co-writer, and I had already written out a few lines. Like I had the tagline written, which was, "It'll be between just you and me. I promise I will keep it. I'll be your dirty little secret." So I had that done, and then I had other ideas pertaining to the song, and I just I had a roadmap. And then that gives the person I'm writing with an idea of what I'm looking to do. And I'll usually have some kind of musical example of what I'm looking to do. Like, hey, this song, I really like the vibe. Not necessarily that I want to write the same song, but just that I like the vibe that it's, going on that song. And yeah, that's kind of a standard thing that I'll do when I'm writing with other people. But by myself, I'm a wild card. Sometimes I'll just be completely inspired lyrically and melodically at the same time and just pull out my phone and do a voice memo. Sometimes I'm just lyrically inspired on the fly, which is why my iPhone is filled up with notes beyond notes beyond notes.
Right. Yeah. This could be a good thing, right? Sometimes you might have some extra material laying around. You don't even have to work as hard.
Oh, there's no shortage of inspiration for me. Yeah, I think being an actress, that's part of it too, because it's not that, I think that people don't realize how hand in hand music and acting can go, because both of them involve emotional execution and living in an emotional place and just experiencing emotions all the time. And I think that the fact that I'm so in touch with my emotions due to acting really helps my songwriting as well, because everything that I'm writing is just, I guess there's just a lot for me to write about because I am so in touch with my emotions on a daily basis. So yeah, no shortage of inspiration.
So how does that translate into your performances? When you're performing the music, do you love to sing as much as you love to write, or do you love to write more and produce a little bit? Create other people's songs, or what's your favorite part of it?
I think my favorite part is the stage. I absolutely love performing.
Right.
The reason I love performing so much is because I really know what I'm doing to my audience. I know how I am emotionally touching them. That's the most rewarding part of this, when I can find out that I really emotionally touched somebody. So when I'm on the stage, it's kind of like just a culmination of everything that I've just been talking about. It's this huge emotional experience combined with all these outside stimulants of the crowd and the venue and everything. It's just kind of a very stimulating situation, and I absolutely love being on stage. I don't really like to pre-plan anything. I just like to go with it. Performing is something that's just kind of in my blood, I think, and I just go with my gut. I move to the music the way I'm feeling at the moment. I don't really like to, I don't like to make anything too much of it.
Right.
None of that.
You have the stage. You have your fans.
Yeah, I just feel the music with my band. Obviously playing with talented musicians definitely helps the feeling. I can for sure feel every single note that's coming out, because I just think that's the most amazing part about playing with such talented, great musicians, that you can they feel the music just as much as I do. So that's really rewarding when I'm on stage.
It's kind of like, another force. I knew this guy named Howard Bloom, and he used to run a company called the Howard Bloom Organization, and they did PR for like Michael Jackson and Prince and AC/DC and Queen, and you name it, and he was one of the most prolific.
AC/DC, yes.
Right, yeah, and he, he felt the music, so he started his career, doing a cross-country trip across the U.S., and he was an 18-year-old kid with a dream and whatnot, and it took him a couple of years to get to where he wanted to be, of course. But he noticed that when it came to live performances, it was like a spiritual energy was in the crowd. You could feel people.
Agree.
Yeah, people move into the music and feel the waves and the rhythm and everybody's energy is just aligned with the artist on the stage, and so it's a really cool experience. I've never actually, besides church choir back in the day, I've never really had that. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you. But you know what I think, actually? I think that not everybody was meant to be on the stage singing, having that spiritual experience, but the audience can partake just as much in the spiritual experience if the artist is connected. Because I think that's the key to really being a great artist. When you are so connected with the music and the feeling that everyone in your audience feels just as energized and stimulated as you do up on stage. So that's something that I strive to do, that I hope I can do, because that's a powerful experience, in my opinion. That's the kind of artist that I want to go see.
And it kind of connects back to the songwriting, too, because, if you don't have the right lyrics, or if you don't have great lyrics, then it's hard to really, emotionally express yourself. I mean, nowadays, you can say anything, I guess, as long as you have good underlying production and rhythm. But, I feel for a singer, correct me if I'm wrong, but for a especially country music singer, where so much of that genre is based on feelings and emotions and stories. You really have to have good content. You have to write well and write about what people want.
I completely agree. I think that's the reason I'm so attracted to country music, because the lyrics are so important, and so is the music. And that's kind of why I really love to incorporate all of that into what I'm doing, because I just think that having a full product really means a lot. And that means lyrically amazing, melodically amazing, musically amazing. And so, yeah, no, I definitely think that's the reason I'm attracted to country music in a lot of ways, because it is just so on point lyrically all the time.
So do you have any go-to inspirations? Like, I know you said you get inspired by everything and anyone and all that, but are there certain topics, genres, certain areas where you like to write about?
Well, oh my goodness. I mean, there's so many things I like to write about, but I believe in strong women. That's a theme that I constantly like to carry out in my music. I really think we need to stop portraying women as damsels in distress. My music is kind of for the anti-princess. It's kind of just.
But you are a princess. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, I am a princess in my own right, but I guess it's like, I feel like women have been portrayed as these damsels in distress the entire time that I've been alive. And I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm sick of women having to just cry in the corner waiting for some man to save us or break our heart. I think that, I have so many goals as an artist. And, I mean, gosh, being an outcast inspires me, because I've been an outcast. Heck, like, my whole time in school, I was always an outcast. But I think
what's wrong with those kids?
What? No, I would say the same thing. I think lots of artists have weird experiences in school situations. And I really like to connect everybody, though, because there's so many people in this world that feel like an outcast. I think that more people feel like that than we know. Mm-hmm. And I like to connect to people on that, because I have so much that I want to write about. I mean, I've had so many experiences in my life that I'm not afraid to talk about. Something that I really like to make sure in my music is that I say things that people are afraid to say. I'm not afraid to tell people that I was used, that I was beaten, that I was broken, that I was mean, that I was selfish. I will just tell people all the things that some people would be afraid to tell people in their songs. And I really like to kind of just put it all out there. I think I'm very transparent as an artist.
And I guess that makes you a strong woman yourself, so that, is a good example to show to others.
I am a strong woman. Thank you.
For sure, of course. And I want to talk about acting a little bit. So you're not just a singer and a songwriter; you're also an actor. As you mentioned earlier. What's your favorite part about that? And do you ever see yourself singing in a Broadway musical?
Well, my favorite part about acting is just, goodness. I mean, I love being able to take the emotions that I have as Zandy Hollop and putting them into a completely different character that nobody would ever expect I would have anything in common with. But yet I feel like it's my alter ego. I think that's the coolest part about acting. Every single character that I'm given, I can find something in common with. And I think everyone would be so surprised, but we all have so much in common with everyone in this world. We all have the same emotions down to the core. It's just we're feeling them in different ways and in different situations. And with acting, it's amazing. Acting is just such an eye-opening experience. I mean, I always tell people, there's acting and then there's real acting. And real acting, when you really dig deep and find out about yourself and really start to take a character on in a way that's an emotional experience and that you're really, self-sacrificing, that's when you really feel rewarded and when you learn, because acting is such a moving experience when you're really digging deep. That's probably my favorite part about acting, that I'm able to relate with so many people. Also, I have so many emotions. I don't really know where to put them all, so I need more space.
Fair enough, more outlets. Sure.
Yeah, you need more outlets, exactly. No, I love anything artistic. I mean, gosh, I'm not a painter by any means, but I love to paint. I'll paint sometimes, My paintings, you're not going to see them in a gallery anytime soon, but I love to get it all out. What?
Yeah. I said, are they on your wall? Do you hang them up? Like, do you paint something and put them on?
I have some on my wall, yes. Sadly. I'm hiding in shame right now.
Hey, man, I got a couple of stick figures. That's all I got, so touche, more power to you.
Mine are pretty close. Don't you worry. Mine are close to sticks. They're not much better.
Art is subjective, so, yeah.
That's what I'm going to start telling people. I love that line, Pat. I'm going to be like, oh, this is just very objective, I'm very objective. Make sure you really, put yourself in another place when you look at this painting.
Right. It's more than meets the eye. But so what's going on with your music? Where are you headed? What have you been doing? What's exciting? What excites you?
Well, I am in the process of developing my new project right now, so I'm doing a lot of writing. When I moved to Nashville, I really started to embrace myself more than before. I was kind of a confused artist before, because I always loved these rock metal sounds, and I also loved the country lyrics, but I was kind of told that, no, you have to be less controversial. You have to fit it more into the country market. And I was doing this all in New York. I mean, I would come down to Nashville to visit and to learn and to write, but I was developing myself primarily in New York. And so I was listening to what these people were telling me, and then I'd go back to New York and I would, execute it. And when I moved down here, I looked and I heard every single girl singing the same exact song. I'd go into a bar and they are all singing the same thing about the same guy, about the same brokenhearted story. And I just sat there and I said, why are all these people telling me to do this? Do I really want to be just another person that's doing the same thing? I want to be different. And I think that's what I want to capitalize on, the fact that I am different. And I don't know if different is good or bad, but I am different. And I wanted to embrace it. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to start an entirely new project. I want to be myself. I want to embrace it. And I'm not afraid to tell people, oh, yeah, my music is country meets metal. For first, people look and they're like, what did you just say? But I say, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. It's country meets metal. And, I've just been developing my new project, writing with a lot of great writers. I'm blessed to know the people that I know down here. And I'm feeling great vibes. I really feel great vibes. I'm glad that I'm down here. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Cool. How did your last project go? I know you had an EP. It was great. I listened to it. You had some good, songwriting and vocals.
Thank you so much.
How was that experience of putting together? Was that your first EP or
That was my first EP. Yeah.
Congratulations.
It was an amazing experience. It was great because I learned so much from making my EP. Something that people don't really understand is that I really made my EP. I directed a lot of it.
Wow. I
really kind of had a lot of ideas for the EP. I had an amazing producer, Keanu Kim, but I really had a lot of ideas, and I really kind of made sure to put myself in the process. I wanted to make sure that I was a very big part of the whole thing, which really taught me how to take control, how to really understand my music in another, it was kind of another dimension. I really got to understand music more, And I got to know myself a lot more. I'm learning about myself every single day. I'm growing every day. And that process was a huge part of me growing as a person and as an artist. It taught me so much about myself. And coming down to Nashville, having done that EP, made it even easier for me to understand that, wow, you know what? I can do anything I want to do. I am capable of doing whatever I want to do. I just need to work hard. And that made me realize, you know what?
Roar.
What?
I said, you are a woman, hear you roar.
Oh, yes. Seriously. Like, I've got the eye of the tiger. Thank you, Katy Perry. Thank you for writing that. That's great. But, yeah, I mean, it's been great. And the EP taught me a lot. And it also it taught me about things that I like about myself and things that I don't like about myself. I grew a lot as an artist since my EP. So, yeah, I don't think I would have grown without putting it out and having that experience. So, yeah, it helped me to grow.
So what advice would you give to someone who's, starting their first writing project or first, EP, whatever it may be?
Be yourself.
Okay.
Be yourself.
Cool.
Do not conform to what other people are telling you to conform to. People are going to try to steer you in another direction and tell you what you're doing is there's something wrong with it, and so on. This is the thing. If you are feeling a truly emotional, spiritual experience, and you really believe in what you're doing, take a minute to really think, wow, do I really believe this is life-changing? Do I believe that this is going to hit someone hard emotionally? If you really take a look at yourself and really believe that, do not change for anyone. Because if that's what you believe in your heart, that is what we want to hear as listeners. Because I listen to a lot of the trending music, and it's very unstructured in the best way possible. When I listen to music like Halsey, I listen to Lana Del Rey, even Lucas Graham. I heard that song 7 years. It's just this kind of stuff you don't ever. Oh, it's an amazing song. But it's stuff that you just wouldn't hear on the radio typically. It's so just raw and amazing. And the structure is very untraditional. And that's what people want to hear because it just has more emotion because of how lyrically and melodically raw it is. So I really think that what the market really wants, what the masses want, is they want people to be themselves. They want an artist that truly feels and has just raw emotions that they put into the songs. So, yeah, be yourself, man. That's my best advice.
That's amazing advice. Thank you, Zandy. I'm going to have to go now. I'm going to have to run, but I really appreciate your time. Definitely say hi next time you're in New York. Or if I'm ever in Nashville, I'll definitely, send you a text or see what's up, see if you're free. I'm sure you're very busy these days, but awesome. Zandy Holo, you're the best. You are a strong woman spreading the message to other strong women. Awesome.
Thank you so, so much. I just want to spread a message to people. I just want to love everybody. Thank you.
Do it. You're doing it. All right. Thanks, Zandy. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye. Thank you.